Next, we travel to the United States to hear not a story of need, but a story of a person who is living his commitment to service each and every day. Arnie Meert's journey with Maranatha stretches back nearly 2 decades. He enjoys serving alongside his family, and on any given mission trip, you'll find him hard at work on the construction site or in the medical clinic. But his desire to be involved in missions stretches back to his childhood.
My mom and dad were very close friends with John and Ida Mae Freeman, the founders of Maranatha. And I used to hear the stories of how they were going out and flying and building these churches and doing these really neat things. And I said, that's what I want to do. I want that to be a part of my life.
Arnie's first opportunity to go on a mission trip was when his kids were in high school. They traveled to Mexico to build a church. The trip was often challenging, but through the difficulties, Arnie was able to see God working in a unique way.
That first trip, I was excited. I think I was on an adrenaline rush. I was finally being a missionary for God. And that was important to me. That was a dream come true.
After that first trip, Arnie, his wife Laura, and their kids became regular fixtures on mission projects all over the world. But after a while, they felt like God was calling them to expand their commitment to missions.
Our kids growing up took a lot of money. There was academy, there was college bills, then there was other kids we helped support in there, and finally all the kids took off and disappeared. And now we are to the place that in time where there are no longer financial commitments to that. And now we have the ability. We had to wait on God to say, okay, other things are done. Now it's time. You can get more involved. You can do it more. You can donate more.
Arnie could have retired years ago. Instead, he continues to work as a nurse anesthetist. What keeps him working? Supporting missions.
God has allowed me to work beyond retirement. And that's a bit difficult at times because there are days I get up and say, I'd rather not go to work. I am tired. But when I think about what the mission trip does for other people, when I see the churches that are completed, there's kids in this school, when I hear the stories about conversions of the people, I suddenly get an attitude change. And I say, you know what? This is well worth it. I'm working for God today. I'm not working for myself.
Prayer plays a large role in Arnie's mission journey. His decisions to give come after long conversations he and Laura have with God, asking for guidance.
I don't think there's a day goes by that I don't pray about missions or about giving for missions or think about them and what's going on for them. They've just become an integral part of my life. And when you get God in the equation, suddenly things change a little bit. And you say, well, I was going to give this much. And then you're talking to God about it, and you think about the needs. You think about what this is going to do. You begin to say, you know, I'd rather celebrate in heaven with a few more people because you gave now, rather than keeping the money for later. And so sometimes it gets a little harder, and you open up and you say, okay, I'm going to give a little more. I'm going to challenge God here, and see if we can still make things work. And, you know, God always comes around. He always finds a way. Something opens up. There's an extra shift to work. There's something else that happens. So God comes back, and God finds a way to reward you. So the next time the question comes up, you go like, okay, can I give more? And that's my goal in life, is to allow God to give me the ability to do more and more for Him. Some of that's financial, some of that's time, some of that's energy, some of that's mission trips, but it's all part of a big overall picture.
Ultimately, giving is a fulfillment of Arnie's desire to be more like God.
God is the biggest giver of all. You know, my heart and resources are nowhere like His. But when God comes in and God's a part of your life, we begin to take on some of the characteristics of God. And I truly believe one of those is giving. I pray at times that God would give me millions so I could give millions to Maranatha. The answer to that I won't say is no. I say not yet, because I don't know what God will do in the future. Maybe God isn't ready to trust me with $1 million yet, but someday maybe He will. And if He does or doesn't, I'm happy with his answer. But I will give of what I have now for him. Someday that's going to be the celebrations in heaven where God puts us all together and says, come over here, I want you to meet these people. They're the ones from Chamoyo that you were over there working, and here's what happened. You know, these are the ones from Kisii, Kenya. These are the ones from Nueva Guinea and Nicaragua. They're my people now. Thank you.
This year, give the gift of hope.